This is a spoiler alert. I read ahead. Although it may not be as spoilery because you're going to read it anyway. Anyway, let's begin. He saw me looking with admiration at his car. "It's pretty, isn't it, old sport?" He jumped off to give me a better view. "Haven't you ever seen it before?" I'd seen it. Everybody had seen it. It was a rich cream color, bright with nickel, swollen here and there in its monstrous length, with triumphant hat boxes and supper boxes and tool boxes, and terraced with a labyrinth of windshields that mirrored a dozen suns. Sitting down behind many layers of glass in a sort of green leather conservatory, we started to town. I had talked with him perhaps half a dozen times in the past month and found, to my disappointment, that he had little to say. So my first impression, that he was a person of some undefined consequence, had gradually faded, and he had become simply the proprietor of an elaborate roadhouse next door. And then came that disconcerting ride. We hadn't reached West Egg Village before Gatsby began leaving his elegant sentences unfinished and slapping himself indecisively on the knee of his caramel-colored suit. In this scene, Gatsby has asked Nick to join him for lunch for an unknown reason. They then dine with Gatsby's business partner Wolfsheim, who provides more info to Nick about Gatsby's past after Gatsby's own telling. The description of Gatsby's car using words such as triumphant, swollen, and monstrous implies that it is a stretch limo and reflects Gatsby's supposedly opulent personality. It doesn't. The description of Gatsby's car uses both repetition and parallelism, describing the hat boxes, supper boxes, and tool boxes, repeating the word boxes and talking about the boxes in general. Nick also uses hyperbole to describe this car, calling it a labyrinth of windows that mirrored a dozen suns. The keyword here is disconcerting, pertaining to the awkward moment as Gatsby indecisively slaps his knee, hoping to work up the nerve to tell Nick about his life and explain how he got where he is today. It's a very personal story. Overall, Nick uses his description, diction, and imagery to portray the car and its extravagance and how it contrasts with Jack Gatsby's actual personality. Ah, snap, son!